What's up, YouTube? Hello, boxing world. Let's talk the latest in boxing. This is Joe Fats TV. Well, check it out. Dmitry Bivol must fight David Benavidez next. At least that's according to the WBC, what they said recently on their website to all of its title holders. And we know that I've been listening to other YouTube channels. They're saying this some guy named Eifert. We got Callum Smith. What about their mandatories? Don't they deserve a shot at the new undisputed champ of 175, Dmitry Bivol? Well, I'm gonna say just flat out, we've never heard of Eifert. So let best believe he's not getting a shot. He is not getting a shot at Dmitry Bivol. This is a different situation than Canelo spinning the block to beat up William Skull to get his belt back. So when he fights Bud Crawford in September, it's for undisputed. This is a different situation. As far as Callum Smith, I mean, what happened? How could Callum Smith have an interim strap when the Benavidez versus David Morrell fight was for, they were calling it the first interim undisputed fight at 175. We were just making jokes about this on February 1st. So how is it all of a sudden Callum Smith has an interim belt when according to that fight, David Benavidez is the undisputed interim champ at 175? So shouldn't he get a shot at the real champ, the real undisputed world champion, Dmitry Bivol? Doesn't that make sense? I mean, let's think about it, people. Just think about it. Let's just be logical about this. You know, both better Biev and Bivol. I'm sure Turkey dropped the bag on them for both fights. A lot of people are screaming a trilogy. Me personally, I don't want to see part three. Think about it. They just went 24 rounds. Neither fighter was they never significantly hurt the other fighter. Neither person got dropped. Obviously, none of them knocked the other out. There's no need to run this back for a third time. There's no need. In fact, parts one and two looked identical. The difference is Bivol started slower the first rounds in part two and ended stronger in part two than he did in part one. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. But we know money talks, bullshit walks. Turkey Al Sheik, when he wants to see a fight, he makes it happen. He's overpaying guys for these fights. So my guess is we're going to see Dmitry Bivol versus David Benavidez. Benavidez, he's obsessed with Canelo because Canelo's been ducking him for a few years now. So he's going to fight a common opponent with Canelo, which obviously is Dmitry Bivol. He wants to prove that he could beat Bivol. Canelo couldn't. This fight will happen. We know from reports that he was actually in Saudi Arabia for the last crescendo. Yes, he did leave early before the Undisputed Showdown, but we know at this point we're just nitpicking as to why he wasn't there. Again, this fight will happen. We're gonna get Bivol versus David Benavidez. It's gonna be in Vegas. You know, one thing with Turkey, from the outside looking in, he seems like a reasonable businessman. He just wants to make the best fights. He's overpaying people, and I've never heard him say it's mandatory to fight in Saudi Arabia. It's just that they're trying to show that Saudi Arabia, we welcome everybody. You know, we're now about entertainment. We're different now. Come visit. You're gonna have a good time. But I've never heard him say it's mandatory to fight in Saudi Arabia. So Benavidez, to me, he has nothing to worry about. That fight that happened in Vegas, and also talking about Tank. I gotta throw Tank into this. Tank, same thing, man. You don't have to fight in Saudi Arabia to make a fight happen. What you do have to do is at least be willing to talk to Turkey Al Sheik to see where things go. We saw Canelo at one point say he didn't want to talk to Turkey. Now, obviously, he has. He has a fight lined up again against William Skull. That one, is going to be in Saudi Arabia. But again, Canelo, I'm sure if Canelo wanted to, he could have had that fight in Vegas. We don't know. I'm just speculating. But let's be honest, man. Turkey's about making the best fights happen, putting pay-per-views on for $25. This fight will happen. We just got to be patient. see where things lead to. But these are just my thoughts and opinions and how I see the boxing world. Other people see it differently. Other YouTube platforms have their opinion, but this will happen. I don't believe David Benavidez is gonna jump to cruiserweight to fight Zurdo Ramirez. I just don't believe that. I don't see him signing with Golden Boy or doing a co-promotional deal with Golden Boy like other YouTube channels are speculating. And this is no diss or shade to anybody else. I just don't see that. I think people are reaching on that one. But that's all I got on this subject. Be sure to leave a comment down below, hit the thumbs up, like the video, and be sure to subscribe to Dro Facts TV.